Chapter 11. 1 Yahweh said to Moses, I will bring yet one more plague on Pharaoh and on Egypt. Afterward he will let you go. When he lets you go, he will surely thrust you out altogether. 2 Speak now in the ears of the people, and let every man ask of his neighbor, and every woman of her neighbor, jewels of silver and jewels of gold. 3 Yahweh gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt, in the sight of Pharaoh's servants, and in the sight of the people. For Moses said, This is what Yahweh says, about midnight I will go out into the middle of Egypt. 5 And all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sits on his throne even to the firstborn of the female servant who is behind the mill, and all the firstborn of livestock. 6 There shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, such as there has not been, nor shall be any more. 7 But against any of the children of Israel a dog won't even bark or move its tongue, against man or animal, that you may know that Yahweh makes a distinction between the Egyptians and Israel. 8 All these servants of yours will come down to me, and bow down themselves to me, saying, Get out, with all the people who follow you, and after that I will go out. He went out from Pharaoh in hot anger. 9 Yahweh said to Moses, Pharaoh won't listen to you, that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Egypt. 10 Moses and Aaron did all these wonders before Pharaoh, and Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he didn't let the children of Israel go out of his land. Chapter 12. 1 Yahweh spoke to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, 2 This month shall be to you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. 3 Speak to all the congregation of Israel, saying, On the 10th day of this month, they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to their fathers' houses, a lamb for a household. For if the household is too little for a lamb, then he and his neighbor next to his house shall take one according to the number of the souls. You shall make your count for the lamb according to what everyone can eat. 5 Your lamb shall be without defect, a male a year old. You shall take it from the sheep or from the goats. 6 You shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it at evening. 7 They shall take some of the blood, and put it on the 2 door posts and on the lintel, on the houses in which they shall eat it. 8 They shall eat the meat in that night, roasted with fire, with unleavened bread. They shall eat it with bitter herbs. 9 Don't eat it raw, nor boiled at all with water, but roasted with fire, with its head, its legs and its inner parts. 10 You shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, but that which remains of it until the morning you shall burn with fire. 11 This is how you shall eat it, with your belt on your waist, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and you shall eat it in haste. It is Yahweh's Passover. 12 For I will go through the land of Egypt in that night, and will strike all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and animal. I will execute judgments against all the gods of Egypt. I am Yahweh. 13 The blood shall be to you for a token on the houses where you are. When I see the blood, I will pass over you, and no plague will be on you to destroy you when I strike the land of Egypt. 14 This day shall be a memorial for you. You shall keep it as a feast to Yahweh. You shall keep it as a feast throughout your generations by an ordinance forever. 15 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. Even the first day you shall put away yeast out of your houses, for whoever eats leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. 16 In the first day there shall be a holy convocation, and in the 7th day a holy convocation. No kind of work shall be done in them, except that which every man must eat, that only may be done by you. 17 You shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in this same day I have brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore you shall observe this day throughout your generations by an ordinance forever. 18 In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at evening, you shall eat unleavened bread, until the 21st day of the month at evening. 19 There shall be no yeast found in your houses for 7 days. For whoever eats that which is leavened, that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he is a foreigner or one who is born in the land. 20 You shall eat nothing leavened. In all your habitations you shall eat unleavened bread. 21 Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel, and said to them, Draw out, and take lambs according to your families, and kill the Passover. 22 You shall take a bunch of hyssop, and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the 2 door posts with the blood that is in the basin. You shall not go out of the door of your house until the morning. 23 For Yahweh will pass through to strike the Egyptians, and when he sees the blood on the lintel, and on the 2 door posts, Yahweh will pass over the door, and will not allow the destroyer to come into your houses to strike you. 24 You shall observe this thing for an ordinance to you and to your sons forever. 25 It shall happen, when you have come to the land which Yahweh will give you, as he has promised, that you shall keep this service. 26 It will happen, when your children ask you, What do you mean by this service? 27 That you shall say, It is the sacrifice of Yahweh's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he struck the Egyptians, and spared our houses. The people bowed their heads and worshipped. 28 The children of Israel went and did so, as Yahweh had commanded Moses and Aaron, so they did. 29 At midnight, Yahweh struck all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sat on his throne to the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of livestock. 30 Pharaoh rose up in the night, he, and all his servants, and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. 31 He called for Moses and Aaron by night, and said, Rise up, get out from among my people, both you and the children of Israel, and go, serve Yahweh, as you have said. 32 Take both your flocks and your herds, as you have said, and be gone, and bless me also. 33 The Egyptians were urgent with the people, to send them out of the land in haste, for they said, We are all dead men. 34 The people took their dough before it was leavened, their kneading troughs being bound up in their clothes on their shoulders. 35 The children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they asked of the Egyptians jewels of silver, and jewels of gold, and clothing. 36 Yahweh gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they let them have what they asked. They plundered the Egyptians. 37 The children of Israel traveled from Ramesses to Succos, about 600,000 on foot who were men, in addition to children. 38 A mixed multitude went up also with them, with flocks, herds, and even very much livestock. 39 They baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they brought out of Egypt, for it wasn't leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt, and couldn't wait, and they had not prepared any food for themselves. 40 Now the time that the children of Israel lived in Egypt was 430 years. 41 At the end of 430 years, to the day, all of Yahweh's armies went out from the land of Egypt. 42 It is a night to be much observed to Yahweh for bringing them out from the land of Egypt. This is that night of Yahweh, to be much observed by all the children of Israel throughout their generations. 43 Yahweh said to Moses and Aaron, This is the ordinance of the Passover. No foreigner shall eat of it. 44 But every man's servant who is bought for money, when you have circumcised him, then shall he eat of it. 45 A foreigner and a hired servant shall not eat of it. 46 It must be eaten in one house. You shall not carry any of the meat outside of the house. Do not break any of its bones. 47 All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. 48 When a stranger lives as a foreigner with you, and would like to keep the Passover to Yahweh, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. He shall be as one who is born in the land, but no uncircumcised person shall eat of it. 49 One law shall be to him who is born at home, and to the stranger who lives as a foreigner among you. 50 All the children of Israel did so. As Yahweh commanded Moses and Aaron, so they did. 51 That same day, Yahweh brought the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their armies. Chapter 13 1 Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, 2 Sanctify to me all the firstborn, whatever opens the womb among the children of Israel, both of man and of animal. It is mine. 3 Moses said to the people, Remember this day, in which you came out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, for by strength of hand Yahweh brought you out from this place. No leavened bread shall be eaten. For today you go out in the month Abib. 5 It shall be, when Yahweh brings you into the land of the Canaanite, the Hittite, the Amorite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite, which he swore to your fathers to give you, a land flowing with milk and honey, that you shall keep this service in this month. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread, and in the 7th day shall be a feast to Yahweh. 7 Unleavened bread shall be eaten throughout the 7 days, and no leavened bread shall be seen with you. No yeast shall be seen with you, within all your borders. 8 You shall tell your son in that day, saying, It is because of that which Yahweh did for me when I came out of Egypt. 9 It shall be for a sign to you on your hand, and for a memorial between your eyes, that Yahweh's law may be in your mouth, for with a strong hand Yahweh has brought you out of Egypt. 10 You shall therefore keep this ordinance in its season from year to year. 11 It shall be, when Yahweh brings you into the land of the Canaanite, as he swore to you and to your fathers, and will give it to you. 12 That you shall set apart to Yahweh all that opens the womb, and every firstborn that comes from an animal which you have. The males shall be Yahweh's. 13 Every firstborn of a donkey you shall redeem with a lamb, and if you will not redeem it, then you shall break its neck. You shall redeem all the firstborn of man among your sons. 14 It shall be, when your son asks you in time to come, saying, What is this, that you shall tell him, By strength of hand Yahweh brought us out from Egypt, from the house of bondage. 15 When Pharaoh stubbornly refused to let us go, Yahweh killed all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of livestock. Therefore I sacrifice to Yahweh all that opens the womb, being males, but all the firstborn of my sons I redeem. 16 It shall be for a sign on your hand, and for symbols between your eyes, for by strength of hand Yahweh brought us out of Egypt. 17 When Pharaoh had let the people go, God didn't lead them by the way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near, for God said, Lest perhaps the people change their minds when they see war, and they return to Egypt. 18 But God led the people around by the way of the wilderness by the Red Sea, and the children of Israel went up armed out of the land of Egypt. 19 Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had made the children of Israel swear, saying, God will surely visit you, and you shall carry up my bones away from here with you. 20 They took their journey from Succos, and encamped in Etham, in the edge of the wilderness. 21 Yahweh went before them by day in a pillar of cloud, to lead them on their way, and by night in a pillar of fire, to give them light, that they might go by day and by night. 22 The pillar of cloud by day, and the pillar of fire by night, didn't depart from before the people. Chapter 14 1 Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, 2 Speak to the children of Israel, that they turn back and encamp before Pi-Hahiroth, between Migdol and the sea, before Baal-zephon. You shall encamp opposite it by the sea. 3 Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, They are entangled in the land. The wilderness has shut them in. For I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and he will follow after them, and I will get honor over Pharaoh and over all his armies, and the Egyptians shall know that I am Yahweh. They did so. 5 The king of Egypt was told that the people had fled, and the heart of Pharaoh and of his servants was changed toward the people, and they said, What is this we have done, that we have let Israel go from serving us? 6 He prepared his chariot, and took his army with him. 7 And he took 600 chosen chariots, and all the chariots of Egypt, and captains over all of them. 8 Yahweh hardened the heart of Pharaoh king of Egypt, and he pursued the children of Israel, for the children of Israel went out with a high hand. 9 The Egyptians pursued them, all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh, his horsemen, and his army overtook them encamping by the sea, beside Pi-Hahiroth, before Baal-zephon. 10 When Pharaoh came near, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians were marching after them, and they were very afraid. The children of Israel cried out to Yahweh. 11 They said to Moses, Because there were no graves in Egypt, have you taken us away to die in the wilderness? Why have you treated us this way, to bring us out of Egypt? 12 Isn't this the word that we spoke to you in Egypt, saying, Leave us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For it would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the wilderness. 13 Moses said to the people, Don't be afraid. Stand still, and see the salvation of Yahweh, which he will work for you today, for you will never again see the Egyptians whom you have seen today. 14 Yahweh will fight for you, and you shall be still. 15 Yahweh said to Moses, Why do you cry to me? Speak to the children of Israel, that they go forward. 16 Lift up your rod, and stretch out your hand over the sea, and divide it. Then the children of Israel shall go into the middle of the sea on dry ground. 17 Behold, I myself will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they will go in after them. I will get myself honor over Pharaoh, and over all his armies, over his chariots, and over his horsemen. 18 The Egyptians shall know that I am Yahweh when I have gotten myself honor over Pharaoh, over his chariots, and over his horsemen. 19 The angel of God, who went before the camp of Israel, moved and went behind them, and the pillar of cloud moved from before them, and stood behind them. 20 It came between the camp of Egypt and the camp of Israel, and there was the cloud and the darkness, yet it gave light by night. One didn't come near the other all night. 21 Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and Yahweh caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. 22 The children of Israel went into the middle of the sea on the dry ground, and the waters were a wall to them on their right hand and on their left. 23 The Egyptians pursued, and went in after them into the middle of the sea, all of Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. 24 In the morning watch, Yahweh looked out on the Egyptian army through the pillar of fire and of cloud, and confused the Egyptian army. 25 He took off their chariot wheels, and they drove them heavily, so that the Egyptians said, Let's flee from the face of Israel, for Yahweh fights for them against the Egyptians. 26 Yahweh said to Moses, Stretch out your hand over the sea, that the waters may come again on the Egyptians, on their chariots, and on their horsemen. 27 Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to its strength when the morning appeared, and the Egyptians fled against it. Yahweh overthrew the Egyptians in the middle of the sea. 28 The waters returned, and covered the chariots and the horsemen, even all Pharaoh's army that went in after them into the sea. There remained not so much as one of them. 29 But the children of Israel walked on dry land in the middle of the sea, and the waters were a wall to them on their right hand and on their left. 30 Thus Yahweh saved Israel that day out of the hand of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians dead on the seashore. 31 Israel saw the great work which Yahweh did to the Egyptians, and the people feared Yahweh, and they believed in Yahweh and in his servant Moses. Chapter 15 1 Then Moses and the children of Israel sang this song to Yahweh, and said, I will sing to Yahweh, for he has triumphed gloriously. He has thrown the horse and his rider into the sea. 2 Yah is my strength and song. He has become my salvation. This is my God, and I will praise him. My father's God, and I will exalt him. 3 Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. For he has cast Pharaoh's chariots and his army into the sea. His chosen captains are sunk in the Red Sea. 5 The deeps cover them. They went down into the depths like a stone. 6 Your right hand, Yahweh, is glorious in power. Your right hand, Yahweh, dashes the enemy in pieces. 7 In the greatness of your excellency, you overthrow those who rise up against you. You send out your wrath. It consumes them as stubble. 8 With the blast of your nostrils, the waters were piled up. The flood stood upright as a heap. The deeps were congealed in the heart of the sea. 9 The enemy said, I will pursue. I will overtake. I will divide the plunder. My desire will be satisfied on them. I will draw my sword. My hand will destroy them. 10 You blew with your wind. The sea covered them. They sank like lead in the mighty waters. 11 Who is like you, Yahweh, among the gods? Who is like you, glorious in holiness? Fearful in praises, doing wonders? 12 You stretched out your right hand. The earth swallowed them. 13 You, in your loving kindness, have led the people that you have redeemed. You have guided them in your strength to your holy habitation. 14 The peoples have heard. They tremble. Pangs have taken hold of the inhabitants of Philistia. 15 Then the chiefs of Edom were dismayed. Trembling takes hold of the mighty men of Moab. All the inhabitants of Canaan have melted away. 16 Terror and dread falls on them. By the greatness of your arm they are as still as a stone. Until your people pass over, Yahweh. Until the people you have purchased pass over. 17 You will bring them in, and plant them in the mountain of your inheritance. The place, Yahweh, which you have made for yourself to dwell in. The sanctuary, Lord, which your hands have established. 18 Yahweh will reign forever and ever. 19 For the horses of Pharaoh went in with his chariots and with his horsemen into the sea. And Yahweh brought back the waters of the sea on them. But the children of Israel walked on dry land in the middle of the sea. 20 Miriam the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took a tambourine in her hand. And all the women went out after her with tambourines and with dances. 21 Miriam answered them. Sing to Yahweh, for he has triumphed gloriously. He has thrown the horse and his rider into the sea. 22 Moses led Israel onward from the Red Sea, and they went out into the wilderness of Shur. And they went 3 days in the wilderness, and found no water. 23 When they came to Marah, they couldn't drink from the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore its name was called Marah. 24 The people murmured against Moses, saying, What shall we drink? 25 Then he cried to Yahweh. Yahweh showed him a tree, and he threw it into the waters, and the waters were made sweet. There he made a statute and an ordinance for them, and there he tested them. 26 He said, If you will diligently listen to Yahweh your God's voice, and will do that which is right in his eyes, and will pay attention to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will put none of the diseases on you, which I have put on the Egyptians. For I am Yahweh who heals you. 27 They came to Elim, where there were 12 springs of water and 70 palm trees. They encamped there by the waters. Chapter 16 1 They took their journey from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came to the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the 2nd month after their departing out of the land of Egypt. 2 The whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron in the wilderness. 3 And the children of Israel said to them, We wish that we had died by Yahweh's hand in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the meat pots, when we ate our fill of bread, for you have brought us out into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. For then Yahweh said to Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from the sky for you. The people shall go out and gather a day's portion every day, that I may test them, whether they will walk in my law or not. 5 It shall come to pass on the 6th day, that they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. 6 Moses and Aaron said to all the children of Israel, At evening, ye shall know that Yahweh has brought you out from the land of Egypt. 7 In the morning, you shall see Yahweh's glory, because he hears your murmurings against Yahweh. Who are we, that you murmur against us? 8 Moses said, Now Yahweh will give you meat to eat in the evening, and in the morning bread to satisfy you, because Yahweh hears your murmurings which you murmur against him. And who are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against Yahweh. 9 Moses said to Aaron, Tell all the congregation of the children of Israel, Come near before Yahweh, for he has heard your murmurings. 10 As Aaron spoke to the whole congregation of the children of Israel, they looked toward the wilderness, and behold, Yahweh's glory appeared in the cloud. 11 Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, 12 I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel. Speak to them, saying, At evening you shall eat meat, and in the morning you shall be filled with bread. Then you will know that I am Yahweh your God. 13 In the evening, quail came up and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew lay around the camp. 14 When the dew that lay had gone, behold, on the surface of the wilderness was a small round thing, small as the frost on the ground. 15 When the children of Israel saw it, they said to one another, What is it? For they didn't know what it was. Moses said to them, It is the bread which Yahweh has given you to eat. 16 This is the thing which Yahweh has commanded, gather of it everyone according to his eating, an omer a head, according to the number of your persons. You shall take it, every man for those who are in his tent. 17 The children of Israel did so, and some gathered more, some less. 18 When they measured it with an omer, he who gathered much had nothing over, and he who gathered little had no lack. They each gathered according to his eating. 19 Moses said to them, Let no one leave of it until the morning. 20 Notwithstanding, they didn't listen to Moses, but some of them left of it until the morning, and it bred worms, and became foul, and Moses was angry with them. 21 They gathered it morning by morning, everyone according to his eating. When the sun grew hot, it melted. 22 On the 6th day, they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for each one, and all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. 23 He said to them, This is that which Yahweh has spoken, tomorrow is a solemn rest, a holy Sabbath to Yahweh. Bake that which you want to bake, and boil that which you want to boil. All that remains over, lay up for yourselves to be kept until the morning. 24 They laid it up until the morning, as Moses commanded, and it didn't become foul, and there were no worms in it. 25 Moses said, Eat that today, for today is a Sabbath to Yahweh. Today you shall not find it in the field. 26 6 days you shall gather it, but on the 7th day is the Sabbath. In it there shall be none. 27 On the 7th day, some of the people went out to gather, and they found none. 28 Yahweh said to Moses, How long do you refuse to keep my commandments and my laws? 29 Behold, because Yahweh has given you the Sabbath, therefore he gives you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Everyone stay in his place. Let no one go out of his place on the 7th day. 30 So the people rested on the 7th day. 31 The house of Israel called its name manna, and it was like coriander seed, white, and its taste was like wafers with honey. 32 Moses said, This is the thing which Yahweh has commanded, let an omer full of it be kept throughout your generations, that they may see the bread with which I fed you in the wilderness, when I brought you out of the land of Egypt. 33 Moses said to Aaron, Take a pot, and put an omer full of manna in it, and lay it up before Yahweh, to be kept throughout your generations. 34 As Yahweh commanded Moses, so Aaron laid it up before the testimony, to be kept. 35 The children of Israel ate the manna 40 years, until they came to an inhabited land. They ate the manna until they came to the borders of the land of Canaan. 36 Now an omer is 1/10 of an ephah. Chapter 17 1 All the congregation of the children of Israel traveled from the wilderness of Sin, starting according to Yahweh's commandment, and encamped in Rephidim, but there was no water for the people to drink. 2 Therefore the people quarreled with Moses, and said, Give us water to drink. Moses said to them, Why do you quarrel with me? Why do you test Yahweh? 3 The people were thirsty for water there, and the people murmured against Moses, and said, Why have you brought us up out of Egypt, to kill us, our children, and our livestock with thirst? For Moses cried to Yahweh, saying, What shall I do with these people? They are almost ready to stone me. 5 Yahweh said to Moses, Walk on before the people, and take the elders of Israel with you, and take the rod in your hand with which you struck the Nile, and go. 6 Behold, I will stand before you there on the rock in Horeb. You shall strike the rock, and water will come out of it, that the people may drink. Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. 7 He called the name of the place Massah and Meribah, because the children of Israel quarreled, and because they tested Yahweh, saying, Is Yahweh among us, or not? 8 Then Amalek came and fought with Israel in Rephidim. 9 Moses said to Joshua, Choose men for us, and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with God's rod in my hand. 10 So Joshua did as Moses had told him, and fought with Amalek, and Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. 11 When Moses held up his hand, Israel prevailed. When he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. 12 But Moses' hands were heavy, so they took a stone, and put it under him, and he sat on it. Aaron and Hur held up his hands, the one on the one side, and the other on the other side. His hands were steady until sunset. 13 Joshua defeated Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. 14 Yahweh said to Moses, "Write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, that I will utterly blot out the memory of Amalek from under the sky." 15 Moses built an altar, and called its name Yahweh our banner. 16 He said, Yah has sworn, Yahweh will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. Chapter 18. 1 Now Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard of all that God had done for Moses, and for Israel his people, how Yahweh had brought Israel out of Egypt. 2 Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, received Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her away. 3 And her 2 sons. The name of one son was Gershom, for Moses said, I have lived as a foreigner in a foreign land. For the name of the other was Eleazar, for he said, My father's God was my help and delivered me from Pharaoh's sword. 5 Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife to Moses into the wilderness where he was encamped, at the mountain of God. 6 He said to Moses, I, your father-in-law Jethro, have come to you with your wife, and her 2 sons with her. 7 Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, bowed, and kissed him. They asked each other of their welfare, and they came into the tent. 8 Moses told his father-in-law all that Yahweh had done to Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, all the hardships that had come on them on the way, and how Yahweh delivered them. 9 Jethro rejoiced for all the goodness which Yahweh had done to Israel, in that he had delivered them out of the hand of the Egyptians. 10 Jethro said, Blessed be Yahweh, who has delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of Pharaoh, who has delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians. 11 Now I know that Yahweh is greater than all gods because of the way that they treated people arrogantly. 12 Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and sacrifices for God. Aaron came with all the elders of Israel, to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before God. 13 On the next day, Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood around Moses from the morning to the evening. 14 When Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, What is this thing that you do for the people? Why do you sit alone, and all the people stand around you from morning to evening? 15 Moses said to his father-in-law, Because the people come to me to inquire of God. 16 When they have a matter, they come to me, and I judge between a man and his neighbor, and I make them know the statutes of God, and his laws. 17 Moses' father-in-law said to him, The thing that you do is not good. 18 You will surely wear away, both you and this people who are with you, for the thing is too heavy for you. You are not able to perform it yourself alone. 19 Now listen to me. I will give you counsel, and God be with you. You represent the people before God, and bring the causes to God. 20 You shall teach them the statutes and the laws, and shall show them the way in which they must walk, and the work that they must do. 21 Moreover you shall provide out of all the people able men which fear God, men of truth, hating unjust gain, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50s, and rulers of 10s. 22 Let them judge the people at all times. It shall be that every great matter they shall bring to you, but every small matter they shall judge themselves. So shall it be easier for you, and they shall share the load with you. 23 If you will do this thing, and God commands you so, then you will be able to endure, and all of these people also will go to their place in peace. 24 So Moses listened to the voice of his father-in-law, and did all that he had said. 25 Moses chose able men out of all Israel, and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50s, and rulers of 10s. 26 They judged the people at all times. They brought the hard cases to Moses, but every small matter they judged themselves. 27 Moses let his father-in-law depart, and he went his way into his own land. Chapter 19. 1 In the 3rd month after the children of Israel had gone out of the land of Egypt, on that same day, they came into the wilderness of Sinai. 2 When they had departed from Rephidim, and had come to the wilderness of Sinai, they encamped in the wilderness, and there Israel encamped before the mountain. 3 Moses went up to God, and Yahweh called to him out of the mountain, saying, This is what you shall tell the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel. For you have seen what I did to the Egyptians, and how I bore you on eagle's wings, and brought you to myself. 5 Now therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice, and keep my covenant, then you shall be my own possession from among all peoples, for all the earth is mine. 6 And you shall be to me a kingdom of priests, and a holy nation. These are the words which you shall speak to the children of Israel. 7 Moses came and called for the elders of the people, and set before them all these words which Yahweh commanded him. 8 All the people answered together, and said, All that Yahweh has spoken we will do. Moses reported the words of the people to Yahweh. 9 Yahweh said to Moses, Behold, I come to you in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with you, and may also believe you forever. Moses told the words of the people to Yahweh. 10 Yahweh said to Moses, Go to the people, and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their garments. 11 And be ready by the 3rd day, for on the 3rd day Yahweh will come down in the sight of all the people on Mount Sinai. 12 You shall set bounds to the people all around, saying, Be careful that you don't go up onto the mountain, or touch its border. Whoever touches the mountain shall be surely put to death. 13 No hand shall touch him, but he shall surely be stoned or shot through. Whether it is animal or man, he shall not live. When the trumpet sounds long, they shall come up to the mountain. 14 Moses went down from the mountain to the people, and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. 15 He said to the people, Be ready by the 3rd day. Don't have sexual relations with a woman. 16 On the 3rd day, when it was morning, there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud on the mountain, and the sound of an exceedingly loud trumpet, and all the people who were in the camp trembled. 17 Moses led the people out of the camp to meet God, and they stood at the lower part of the mountain. 18 Mount Sinai, all it, smoked, because Yahweh descended on it in fire. Its smoke ascended like the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mountain quaked greatly. 19 When the sound of the trumpet grew louder and louder, Moses spoke, and God answered him by a voice. 20 Yahweh came down on Mount Sinai, to the top of the mountain. Yahweh called Moses to the top of the mountain, and Moses went up. 21 Yahweh said to Moses, Go down, warn the people, lest they break through to Yahweh to gaze, and many of them perish. 22 Let the priests also, who come near to Yahweh, sanctify themselves, lest Yahweh break out on them. 23 Moses said to Yahweh, The people can't come up to Mount Sinai, for you warned us, saying, Set bounds around the mountain, and sanctify it. 24 Yahweh said to him, Go down. You shall bring Aaron up with you, but don't let the priests and the people break through to come up to Yahweh, lest he break out against them. 25 So Moses went down to the people, and told them. Chapter 20 1 God spoke all these words, saying, 2 I am Yahweh your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. 3 You shall have no other gods before me. For you shall not make for yourselves an idol, nor any image of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. 5 You shall not bow yourself down to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahweh your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children, on the 3rd and on the 4th generation of those who hate me. 6 And showing loving kindness to thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments. 7 You shall not take the name of Yahweh your God in vain, for Yahweh will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. 8 Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. 9 You shall labor 6 days, and do all your work. 10 But the 7th day is a Sabbath to Yahweh your God. You shall not do any work in it, you, nor your son, nor your daughter, your male servant, nor your female servant, nor your livestock, nor your stranger who is within your gates. 11 For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the 7th day. Therefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day, and made it holy. 12 Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long in the land which Yahweh your God gives you. 13 You shall not murder. 14 You shall not commit adultery. 15 You shall not steal. 16 You shall not give false testimony against your neighbor. 17 You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his male servant, nor his female servant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is your neighbor's. 18 All the people perceived the thunder and the lightning flashes, the sound of the trumpet, and the mountain smoking. When the people saw it, they trembled, and stayed at a distance. 19 They said to Moses, Speak with us yourself, and we will listen, but don't let God speak with us, lest we die. 20 Moses said to the people, Don't be afraid, for God has come to test you, and that his fear may be before you, that you won't sin. 21 The people stayed at a distance, and Moses came near to the thick darkness where God was. 22 Yahweh said to Moses, This is what you shall tell the children of Israel, you yourselves have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. 23 You shall most certainly not make gods of silver or gods of gold for yourselves to be alongside me. 24 You shall make an altar of earth for me, and shall sacrifice on it your burnt offerings and your peace offerings, your sheep and your cattle. In every place where I record my name I will come to you, and I will bless you. 25 If you make me an altar of stone, you shall not build it of cut stones, for if you lift up your tool on it, you have polluted it. 26 You shall not go up by steps to my altar, that your nakedness may not be exposed to it.